stew complements, hoppers, and Grenada paper products. Manufacturers of Royal, Horizon, and Quick and Easy paper towels and napkins.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo. A little more shango.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to We Culture. Yes, indeed, it's Friday, and that's the time when we get a little more relaxed and get into some fun and information and all of the good things. Yeah, after working pretty hard, yeah, throughout the week. So tonight, we have not gotten over Carnival in its entirety. You know, there's always a little Carnival in us. Yeah, despite the 2 days of festivities, although that has gone, but deep somewhere inside, you know, our DNA, we have a little Carnival that is still linger, you know, so any little thing that make us want to, you know what I mean. So tonight we have another very interesting program for you. We talking about Kaiso in the days of the, you know, the Kaiso tent was the real thing, and of course the days of the Simone semi-final, and also the March Gras Queen's Park and all of that. I mean, those were really fantastic days, and tonight we're going to reminisce on that, and we're looking forward to hearing from you as well. All right. Don't forget, we may have some changes to our programming in the coming week. From where we are, so far, it doesn't seem as if We Culture will be affected, but definitely we'll keep you up to date. All right, so we're hoping that We Culture is not affected by some of the changes, but we keep our fingers crossed. All right, so tonight we welcome our viewers on GBN Television, 7 and 11, our viewers on the Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also our listeners on K105 FM. It's a pleasure to have you, and we're looking forward to chatting with you tonight. The team is here, of course. 10 times Kaiso Monarch, yes indeed. Finley Jeffrey, scholar, yeah man. All you tell you, he's still showing off and thing, you know. When he walk in that thing, he carwaying still, you know. You don't kind of get over that yet. You still walk and carway as though, you know. Anyway, what? Scar, you look at me and you alone tonight, boy. You look at the way things looking there. I mean, last week I was looking on the bright side, but
Yeah,
you look like I got to come back in your car, boy. You
see yellow.
What?
It's green.
You telling me, right? Me, Papa. So, folks.
Last week, you try to put man against woman.
Well, I mean,
this man, but that don't work.
You don't work at all. And I come early and I open the link because I feel it alright, you know. I figure
well, boy, you'll see what it does.
When he say good night team, he didn't thinking about which team.
Well,
yeah.
I guess not.
Don't worry.
But I must say good night to all our viewers, and I must also say that tonight, Doc and Reece, they come good.
They come real good.
Yeah, they come good.
You don't see Doc smile?
You're grinning.
What? You don't see Sylvester? Sylvester smiling. I see now inside Sylvester as you know.
All inside Sylvester is.
No, why?
The glasses has been forgiven.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you notice his gold buttons and things.
Deal.
But you don't also win tonight. You don't win tonight. Mm-hmm. Tell D for me. You see the drips behind you there? That chocolate brown and taupe and thing there? Tell her she have it going on. I know it's her. She have it going on. She have it locked. Looking pretty.
That is how they call it. That is the screen backdrop.
Chroma key? Yeah, a chroma key.
There is screen backdrop. Well, tell her she need to make it a reality because that look real nice.
No man, that is a screen backdrop, you see.
I can't stand you. What a nose.
Hold on. Anyway, welcome the people, and there we go.
I'm waiting for the wig. The wigs. We said no bald head wig.
Hello, listen, hold on. Charity begins at home, you know. You ain't talking to me and Scholar yet, you know.
Oh, really?
Yes, really? Charity begins at home.
Good evening, Nurse Jeffrey. Good evening, Leader Free. Good evening, husband. No, back to it. The wig. Where are the wigs?
Yeah, but you still look. I tell you, Charity begins at home.
Oh, I supposed to have a wig?
No, man. You have to start to ask for the wig. Listen, you have to start to ask for the wig in your house.
Listen, I'm dealing with all you on the same level tonight.
No.
Bald head wig? You don't know bald head wig or okay? Where the wig, Sylvester? You mute. Where the wig? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Why she name again? Why she name?
I did.
The one that you met in the market, Mona?
Yeah.
Why she name? Monet working against me. Because I don't understand. We all decided that you guys were coming with a wig. And somehow, as you said, Charity begins at home, and Sylvester just right under me nose hole. Just disrespecting and just decided he's not wearing any wig.
Next carnival.
Because Monet maybe like do all that.
Next carnival, the masquerade would start. Good night to all the listeners. The team is here, so tonight we hope to take you back in time. I almost thought that, what we got from the last program was really, really good commendation. It actually surprising that so many people hooked on the Queen show. So hopefully we are here again to take you down memory lane. So team, we ready to go?
Yes. Well, of course,
that's right.
We ain't had to question where the thing starting. You understand? We go start in 1993 and then we go backtrack and then we go come forward.
Before you go there, you know what was amazing? The fact that the show seemed to have continued after the show last Friday, all into the weekend. You had so much people giving feedback.
Oh, yes.
Giving information, sending pictures, posting things on Facebook, that it was really amazing to see the conversation continued after the show. And I might add, a lot of substance.
Definitely. So Finley, there we go.
Well, I could jump in there. You ask about 1993. 1993 is the year that I stepped in to the in the fray, so to speak. But an interesting thing about 1993 is that I started my singing career in Simone. That was the first place I ever sing. No, I was not daunted by Simone then because it was independence. It's not today. When you talk about Kaiso, it's not today Kaiso bossing you. Well, as a matter of fact, when I started in Simone, it was not a boss. That was a truck, a train. He had about, I know Hamlet Mark was there because he judged. So whoever judged, I feel he had 3 judges that time. That time they didn't use 5. So he had about 3 judges. And then about 3 other people, right?
In independence?
Yeah, in the independence thing. So I mean, that was my first time. And if he had a big crowd, I would have been shaky. You see, but I mean, 3 little people, I kick up. But by And I tell myself, well, you know, I didn't think. So the later in the August now 1993, step into the ring. That time I have ICs prefer to go to hell. I kick up smoke in the preliminary thing, and then I end up in the semi-finals and I get a shock of my life, you know, that. I could never forget that, you know.
But you see people?
It's one of my most memorable thing that has stayed with me throughout my entire Calypso career. I went in Simon, I was singing number 6, right? I remember that good. But we went in Simon, Praying Mantis at time. I ride with Praying Mantis. Praying Mantis glass up with air conditioner and so on. So we drive into Simon. And when we drive into Simon, you know, Simon used to start bam 5 o'clock.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So we drive into Simon. We reach in Simon about 8 minutes past 5 or thereabouts. We drive in. Mantis get a little place to park. Boy, and when Mantis open that door, how they call him was singing. Upgrader was singing that song, All You Free. Boy, and when I hear nice Godfrey, I stand up, I brace myself. I say, what the hell is that? And Mantis tell me, well, let me go. And Mantis take out in our door. I stand up, I watch Mantis. I watch the back go down the road. I watch the back go down the road. I say, me, I can't make it tonight. I take out in the next direction. You know? I say, I don't make it tonight. I'm going home by. Yeah. That was one of the most memorable things. I like a Rasta man had hold me. I like a Rasta man from Samaritan. I fell a little head. The mama hold me and bring me back. And he never knew that I was afraid. Right? Because when he think and he asked me what I'm doing, I tell him I'm going to buy something in a shop. The man wait for me. I buy like a chewing gum. And then the man walk with me and bring me go inside the thing. So that was, and that's my most memorable thing, that was the kind of mood, you know, that Simon had. And when Simon got lost, a whole piece of Kaiso got lost with Simon.
Yes.
You know? So I just wanted to proffer that. Simon was like Skinner Park. Sort of like, you know, the atmosphere there. And this is something that Kaiso, I'll start the ball off with that. Kaiso has really missed.
Well, I would add a little bit before, and I will go to Doc, but I want to just add a little bit, Scholar. You said after we lose Simon, we lose a huge part of the Kaiso, but I want to add that in losing that, a good part of St. Andrew's Carnival also went.
Yeah.
Because that semi-final in Simon, it did something for Carnival in St. Andrew. Yeah, and it affected that. Doc, Reece, we coming to you last. Guav never didn't you say or nothing?
I just find Carla did an injustice because I was really hooked on this story, but he left out two things. I also show the audience also want to know when you sang in the Independent, what was your position? What was the result now of you when you went and you went and your thing? In that competition in the August Festival, what was your position? What was the song you sang? Was it a 1 wrong or 2 wrong? So I think you have to finish your story, man.
Well, I want to go and take all the talk, right?
Interesting. Before
measured me speaking, but the Independence, that was the first time on stage, first time I won. I won the show, the thing, and there was a lot of controversy concerning it because the truth is that I had been trying to sing Kaiso for a lot of years since Inspector started. I started trying to sing and I couldn't get to sing. Them and one intent, yada stupid. So I sent out to a song for Mantis is me never, you know. I sent out to a song for Mantis. Next thing Mantis passed by me, Mantis tell me, but you get through, you know. We practicing starting Tuesday. That was, I could never forget, it was a Friday evening. But I started to get smaller. Whole weekend I can't sleep, I can't eat.
So you're making tape to sing, and when time for you to sing, I'm
afraid, boy. But the excitement and thing, I can't sleep, I can't eat. And then the Monday man, this pastor man, this tell me, boy, the management see it's 10 men, they wanted the 10, and I would have make 11. So I don't make What the hell is that? When I get one piece of X, I have me nice like a mute stand and writing like a book. I go below the cocoa upon that. I say I never go back in Kaiso. That is it for me. And then fortunately they come with this independence thing. They say, all you come on and they send cassette. I write a little song. I tape it in the school when everybody know they I tape it. And I give a fella to send it down. But I didn't write name on the cassette. Because I don't want nobody to know it's me. Because tell me the reason why man this time I'm not choosing me to because I don't would, you know. So I don't want nobody to know it's me. Yeah, so me and write my name on the cassette, you know. So when I watch the little notebook I had reading the song with was a scholar notebook. That was the brand of the notebook. Right. So I write that on the cassette. And people just think that is where the name come from. You know, I write that on the cassette, I send it down, and I forget about this thing, you know. And for days they calling out the finalists and scholar calling out, and me don't know who. You don't know who scholar? No, I don't know who they're talking about. Is the man that bring the cassette, go down and tell me about congrats and take it and all this that. And that was where I start from. And Fupa win. And controversy start because Bobla came second at the end. This is Bobla. And Bobla say I was not a registered Calypsonian. They picked me up by the side of the road. And you can... Can't give me crown. The man said, take the crown. They had to take the crown back. And there was a serious move to take the crown back, you know. And Glenn Noel had stood up and said, he said no. They heard because Calypsonian should have been registered. It was a fault of the Calypso Association. And they can't punish me for that. That is how I was able to keep my crown. But that going back to that semi-finals.
The first win had controversy.
Yeah, man. The controversy always followed me. But going back to that, you know, Simon has, and we'll speak about that probably later, but Simon has shown up a lot of controversy over the years. And this was the year when I stepped in Simon, that same time at Fred. That year, Wizard won the semi-final. And Pecky make it by the skin.
I remember that.
Why?
Well, in fact, they say Pecky don't make it, but you just put him in. All kind of things say.
Controversy, causes a wizard in things. Pecky say he don't sing in, if he go, then he come back, anything. And that was the first year in the history of Grenada that foreign judges judge the match. They brought in foreign judges to judge. So my start has been shrouded in controversy, and controversy just followed me. I realized I started controversies over here. So that's why I'm so controversial in Kaiso. And that year came second. So enough of that. So let me.
So yeah,
I used to see him on the bus stand. That time the bus stand used to be in front of the Esplanade. You remember that?
Yeah.
I used to see him on the bus stand. I used to see him, but I can't remember anymore. Looking like a schoolboy. I think he didn't go to college there. Yeah. I think he was teachers college. Yes. Yeah. He look like but I can't remember anymore.
So, Doc, let's hear your thing on the Simon.
Do you have to take an early break or we go?
Well, we kind of started late. We're going to take the break in a few minutes.
Right, but I think what I'd like to start, I think... first thing saying we in that Simon for most persons was really about an intimate venue. Calypsonians felt close. The audience was boisterous. They were, in your face. When you were good, they let you know you were good, and when you were not so good, they let you know you were not. They let you know you were not so good. The Simon crowd was just people that was in love with the art form, and you had to come good, and there was this, as I said, intimacy. But I moving to Simon, everybody knows Simon well. I would say that most people knew that Simon was a racetrack at one time. And the cultural center was built up in Simon to accommodate that, and that move was made during the revolution. And when that was moved, it naturally just spawned Calypso in the big parish and throughout Grenada, like a bit of Grenada, because I think that St. Andrew as a whole seemed to have a lot greater concentration of Calypso lovers. So when the move was made to bring the semi-finals in Calypso, in Simon, I think people from the St. Patrick area, it was easier for them from St. David, and again people from St. Andrew just flocked to St. Andrew to Calypso semi-finals, and so it was a trying time. If you pass that test in Simon and you were able to do well, then you would go with your followers. But I also think around that time, Calypso was a little bit tribalistic, meaning that, when people came from St. Patrick, and St. Patrick crowd is expected to support the Calypsonians of St. Patrick, and Weasel had his own crowd, and the African Teller had you see persons, and Jamo had the persons, and the Praying Mantis, the Squeezy, all these people had their own kind of crowd. So people came in semi-finals and Calypso with the crowd. So I think I would agree with Scholar that I think Calypso started taking a dive slowly after the destruction of Simon, or the need to kind of rebuild it. Mm-hmm. So I will stop there and come again.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Let me just add a little bit before we go to Reece. Doc, you were talking about the people who had their support, and I think to take it a little broader, it was actually the tent structure, and I guess we're going to get to talk about that, because it was Black Roots, it was Kaiso Castle, it was African Temple, and so these tents had their following, and of course the Calypsonians that made up these tents, they fell under that, so they all had their following, so you can actually see, when you look at it, you see how much has been lost, with the removal of Calypso from Simon. So let's take the break. When we come back, Reece gonna give us her views on what she recall of Simon, and then we would open up some more. So we take a break, folks, and we'll come back in a moment. Stay with us.
Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance from the maple.
When you need your prescription filled, or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grandans, Victoria Street, Brandon, and Central Deputy Street, Wall. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Whether you're shopping for hardware, building materials, and appliances, Hubbard's Building Supplies at Grandans is the place to shop. With improved facilities, increased parking, wider variety of products, and a trendy and spacious layout. Catering for all your shopping needs. Why wait? Visit Hubbard's Building Supplies today. Now open Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Hubbard's. Quality service, affordable prices.
Father God Prue. For every project, there's only one Prue.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment as you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest. Visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo. A little more shango.
Welcome back, everyone. It's We Culture. We reminiscing on the days of Kaiso, at the tent, the days of the Kaiso tents, and of course the Simon Pavilion semi-final, a big thing, and of course the old Queen's Park. That used to be some moments. Reece, what are your did we lose Reece?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. For a moment there, you disappeared.
You see, the thing is, I'm still at work,
Oh, all right.
So there's an issue right.
Good. Your recollections of Simone,
Yeah, in keeping with the trend of talking about Simone, I remember as a child, my parents used to bring me, because going to Calypso show wasn't necessarily an adult thing, it was a family thing. So a lot of us who are now followers of Calypso tents and Calypso shows, it is because we were molded into that, going to tents and going to the shows and all that. So even though I might seem a bit younger, I did have my experience in Simone's. I have very vivid memories of walking on the outside and all of that, looking for food to buy, I remember the grassy grounds, the muddy area, going into the venue, the pavilion kind of area, the stage, and as you rightly say, it was close. But as a child, it seemed as if it was like kind of on a height in a way. That is my experience of it. People seemed bigger there, like they just seemed taller in that venue. And yes, I mean, when the whole stoppage of having events up there happened, we really saw a kind of lull in Calypso tents and performances and things all over to me. It wasn't just what happened for Grenville and all of that. I felt like there was something that was missing. Like it was not as full in its fullness as before, because Simone was a staple. Simone was a name we all knew, like how we know Queen's Park. Simone was that venue as well for us. And I remember seeing Wizard perform up there. I remember seeing that artist, I forget his name now, he's an older guy. I think he lives on the Carnage, but he has the sweetest voice.
Dictator?
Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Dictator?
The Dictator or Original Inspector?
Yes, I remember seeing these performances and all of that. So I'm happy that I got to be part of that, even though it wasn't at a time where I was so conscious of things, but I still have very vivid memories of going to Simone for those shows. So yeah.
You know what? One of the things I remembered as a little fella, and I think that in itself probably had something to do with me getting into the whole promotion thing, because as a little child, I remember my parents took us to a show in Simone. It was Sparrow and Bill Trotman that came. That was the year Bill Trotman sang Mommy, Mommy, I Want to Go Back to School. So remember that song? And Sparrow big song that year was I'm a Robot. And that was just around the time. It may have been 80, either late 79 or sometime in the 80. Because I remember that very, very, very well. I can even tell you, when we went with that taxi. We had a fella from Montrose Dock called Glenn. You remember Glenn? Glenn used to drive a taxi, a Ford. That was the vehicle that we went with and came back. Glenn used to live just under by where Mr. Mark and them used to live there.
Mark by Margaret.
Yes, below yes.
The Margaret.
And I remember that so well. I remember Sparrow coming there with this kind of robot outfit and kind of thing, and that stayed with me over the years. And that happened in Simone. And so, you know, it is not by chance that Simone, for whatever reason, you know, is just a staple for Calypso. And, you know, I want to say at this point, you know, moves need to be made to get, you know, something has to be done. Something has to be done, because I don't believe Simone has lost it.
But I think what actually made Simone, there was actually a really good structure, tent. There was a level of proliferation of tents throughout. I mean, I don't know all the names, but you know, when Stella mentioned Calypso Castle, and that actually was an next name for Master International was the band, and they wanted to separate. So Calypso Castle, you had what was African tell that tent name?
African Temple.
You had Bobula. You had there was that tent, I don't know the name, and my resource persons could not remember the name. I spoke to Miss Banfield, and of course I Ann Peters. I spoke to Senator to see if I get some information, and you had like tent that was in the Juilliard, in St. Paul's. There was a tent in Willis.
Yeah, you had things like Soca Palace. You had, I mean, I can remember some of them well.
Mohadi's tent, you know. So there was a tent structure even before going to Simone. And Calypso was being judged in the tents, and of course you had the semi-finals, but that was the structure. But when it came to Simone, that structure was there. So Simone it was just an extra leaf, I think. And some of all the names, I think Scholar is good in terms of his memory. I don't know if he was there during that time, but in terms of you know, there was a performance by Lady Cinti that some people actually spoke about. I think the first one, you had the Lady Beginner, but you had people that perform on all the days with Simone, like Skylark, some big names. Squeezy was a regular name. The Randy, the Bubbler, Mr. X, the Tangler, the Lady Pinky.
Well, Mr. X at that time was foul.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He changed the name in those days. X, all in the holidays when X going IFE and thing is foul. Yeah, and X was advised to change his name. But Doc, as you mentioned some names, I mean, there were a lot of other names. I don't know if you're familiar with them. You have people like Titus. You have people like Tenor. You have people like Mr. D, same Doggies, and all of these guys. These were guys that were part of the, with Mars and so the Pele. You know, so there was a lot of them.
Which Pele Dabo?
Pele died recently. Pele in Maki. Yeah, Pele died recently. So there were a lot of
Pele Dabo can't even talk.
I wish he hears you.
He calling.
Believe me, bad now.
Yeah. But Skulls, let me come back to you. So you know, with all that, you know, what happened in Simone, you know, all that hype and that energy, and it followed the Calypsonian down to Queen's Park. Let's talk a little bit about the Queen's Park coming from Simone and getting into that Calypso final, because that was, I mean, something out of this world. Yeah. The March Grand Night.
Godfrey, before we get there, can we take some comments?
Sure, yes. Maybe we should do that.
Hold on, Reece. Before you take the comments and before we go there, I just want to go back a little bit to Simone based on something that Reece said. And it is something that I remember about Simone as a boy going in Simone to watch Kaiso, because since I like Kaiso run away go and watch Kaiso. But the outside, Simone outside had a special smell.
Yeah.
A smell of food, and not this kind of smell, not this fried chickenish kind of. It just had a special smell. I don't know what the smell was, and I didn't figure it's barbecue. It's the barbecue. I don't sure barbecue was around there. But Simone had a special smell that I remember very well. And also, I heard Doc speak about Lady Cindy memorable performance. There were two things. Simone used to throw up a lot of funny things. So there was a Lady Cindy performance. You remember that time, Godfrey? Yeah. Lady Cindy stopped in the middle of her performance and said she had to pee.
She boss? She boss.
She stopped and Lady Cindy said she had to pee. And then there was a performance, Jai's first time he make like a thing. Jai's going no good next thing. Jai's stopping by Jai tell the crowd, sorry, man, make a little mistake. You don't remember that?
Yeah, but but you remember to that the same fella you Upgrader,
yeah.
You remember when he come on in 1969?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, every time in 1960, and people waiting for the verse, and you're waiting to hear, well, okay, well, all right, what happened in 1969? But it's 1969. That was the whole calypso. But Scott, let me tell you what you used to smell in Simone. Was the food? Boabuk. You know it's Boabuk?
Forget that.
Boabuk, I tell you.
Boabuk far from food. Don't ever scala.
Listen to me. I tell you, it's Boabuk the buys the smell. The whole side from where the tent used to be. Well, you had no Simone because that the race track, right? So you had the track that go right around. In the middle, the whole area in the middle is Boabuk.
Yeah, but no Boabuk also smells.
Well, I don't know if you know why it's a smell, but I feel it's Boabuk. But I feel it's Boabuk is a smell.
But there's such a big difference between Boabuk and food.
Well, he don't know how he smell. Scott, I don't know how he smell, I tell you. Anyway, let me take the comments.
Yeah. As I go to the comments, I remember around the venue had a lot of metal, kind of ruin, kind of a lot of metal things. Yeah, like metal.
It was.
Yeah.
So let's take somebody. Yeah.
Right. So in terms of the comments, I'm going to try to get to where they're actually contributing towards what is it that we were saying, because a lot of people were saying good evening and all that. So we have Jose saying, in McDonald College, Scholar was always fooling around giving someone talk. That's why I think they never took him seriously. But maybe Scholar should tell you the history of Black Roots Tent and how they had one brass man at that time and had the best calypsos that year. Monet, I must read Monet's comment. She's saying good night to Mr. Godfrey, Scholar, Livingston, and Reece. Just get in, so I'm very happy to see We Culture. Scholar had a nice supper tonight, it seems. Very happy with his curly hair. So do Livingston. I got your name right, but I prefer Sylvester. So she's listening. Jose is also saying, I think St. Patrick's was always very competitive in Calypso, and as I can remember, St. Patrick's Calypsonians was always picked. Whatever. Zavin is saying, good night, We Culture. Who remembers the Calypso tent at the drill yard with Melody and Papi Tits?
Yeah.
Monet is saying, okay, she's just complimenting me. Zavin is saying the days of Calypso tent at the Regal Cinema was a vibes. Haven Hill is saying, so this We Culture, and you guys listen, so this We Culture does not have to be Carnival and Calypso issues perennially. Feature the cooking of our dishes. Karaku Corn Festival, the tradition where they cook and eat by hands in country. All Saints, candlelighting, fishing or agriculture, steel pan, activities, we do. Get creative and feature various aspects of We Culture instead of draining the same topics with the same recycled guests. Y'all go take on that after?
No, all I would say, I think what we need to say is let us welcome this new viewer to We Culture.
My sentiments exactly.
Yeah, let's welcome the viewer. So caller, we welcome you to your first program, and we hope that you continue viewing. And that's all.
Yes, and invite her to go and watch a lot of the past programs because we've been here for 2 years.
A hill, not a hill.
Haven Hill's picture is eating coconut jelly. So we don't know, but we would like to invite Haven Hill to go and look at some of our past programs, and she'd be very proud to know that, if not all.
Everything she said, we talk about it.
Well, I'll tell you, all we have to do is just to say welcome. Welcome to the program. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So Hudson George is saying, and we've had many guests. So it's not recycled, Anyways, the original inspector is from Rose Hill, St. Patrick's, but a lot of Grenadians don't know. We have Harriet is saying, yes, back then he was foul. That is Mr. X. He was a teacher at Happy Hill Secondary School. Jose is saying Simon have its history for semis. Also, there's the big rallies being held during the revolution. So Simon's was a place, if you make it there, tell you was ready. If you make it, tell yourself you are ready for the big night. Hudson is saying Rhythm Riders band from Butchgrove St. Andrews had some good Calypsonians too. Rose Charles, don't forget Calypso Rama tent at Bolio. Harriet is saying it was a joy performing there and the energy did transfer to the Queen's Park. Let's see what else. Rose is saying with Calypsonians like Caruso, Manikou and Skeff, right? Yulin is saying that we're making her laugh. Cordina is saying the bush alongside the industrial park. He was smelling. That is what he was smelling.
You see what I tell you?
Y'all know Cordina is Susan's daughter. Little Susan in the house. Dodo Charles is saying, Scholar have me cracking up. Monet is saying, Scholar take all the joke for himself, watching at him up here. Even Mr. Godfrey give jokes and enjoying it. Livingston looking not happy tonight. What's wrong, Sylvester? That's what's wrong. Jose says, Simon was a big stage before you reach the park, the March Gras. Some Calypsonians making Simon was a big thing for them. That means that you were picked for the 10th competition and you have a shot for the March Gras. And we have Orion is saying the Galaxy of Stars, the top 10th in the past with the band Pilgrimage and Top Calypso. And Jose is saying you should tell the person to go to YouTube and she will see all the past shows. Yes, Jose. So Haven Hill. Right. All of talking about all the Calypso 10th, right? We had 10 sing off too. We had Soca House.
A ninth?
We had Soca House.
Soca House. So that.
I remember Soca House.
No.
In St. John's. Calypso came from where?
You see that ninth?
First Calypso came from where?
Soca House?
No. I'm saying we had Soca House, yes, that's a Calypso tent. Right? But then I'm asking you, the first Calypso crown, where it went? Where is the real and the original Crown City? I get you.
Reece, what you
tell the people. Leader free. Tell the people.
What?
Reece, let me tell you something.
90 Hurricane closure.
Actually,
closure close to Grenville, you must ask Scholar. What you want to know? Closure close to Grenville.
Yeah, but them closure doesn't go out.
No.
No, it's not in Guam. It is in St. John's.
No.
It is in St. John's.
Where?
Okay.
No. Where's the bungry? Where's the bungry?
Because watch me. Sotes have it. All people that win Calypso, not Calypso Crown, Crowns from St. Patrick's, all of them not from Sotes. Facts.
All right, so Reece, let me say this to you. First of all, I'll say I'll say it in prose. I can't do that. You would understand. First of all, parts of closure in St. Andrews, you know that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You don't know.
What play geography? What are you seeing?
Hill is in St. John.
You see?
There is in St. John.
You do geography in school,
You do geography in school?
I don't
do
understand.
Geography.
You don't know geography.
I don't know about geography.
Any first thing. But secondly, Reece, I'm in command. Go over that 10 acre Soka what?
Soka house.
No. You had 10 acre whatever kingdom and palace and so on. You had balls. You also.
That was false selling. That was false advertising. And remember, we had a junior tent. And remember Mikey Hutchinson and his twin brother? You remember that? We didn't need to say kingdom for people to feel we have king and queen. We just went and do it like Nike. We just do it.
What Mikey Hutchinson and his twin brother did?
They had one junior monarch. Can you remember that?
Well,
what are you?
You're right.
Watch me. This nowadays Krong City, or they're talking there. That nowadays Krong City. We had original Krong City, you know.
You know, like Jude, they had one.
But yes, a man, you don't look.
It don't matter. Kirani win 1 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. And that one is undisputed, is a forever force, and that cannot be disputed ever. Why are you trying to tick me off tonight?
Kirani don't win 1 gold. Kirani win a gold.
He win 1 Olympic gold, 1 Olympic gold, 1 Olympic bronze.
Guys, I just want you to ask Scholar something. Scholar, you ever saw a performance by Gospel or Papitet, Godfrey? You ever maybe?
Yeah, of course.
I never see Papitet.
In fact, I don't know Papitet, but Gospel.
Yeah, Papitet was Papitet was very popular during the Revolution. I've never seen him in Calypso, but as an MC. During the Revolution, he was like Papa Kakadibo. Right, yeah. When you mentioned about the Manikou, who was Manikou?
Manikou was
Hugh Dolan,
right.
Yes.
But you had some big names.
But Gospel, okay, so Gospel, in 1976, Gospel came second to Flying Turkey.
1976.
Yeah. With a song called Cordy Was the Cow. Scholar, remember that?
Who sang the song that free about this roll up in Granite and
that was late. So Gospel came second and it was Darky that came third with Natasha. Okay. Remember Natasha from what we did? And then in 77, it was Defender who came second to Turkey and Chain came third. Remember Defender with the runaway church girl?
Yeah.
And Chain had it was the Warrior.
Ramba Chain?
Yeah.
The Immortal Chain?
The Immortal Chain. That was the name then, yeah. That was the name.
I remember Wood on the Crapple back.
Yeah, like Survivor, Calypso Monarch 1980.
Classic.
But let me take a couple comments here on the WhatsApp. So someone said, Godfrey, good night. Remember when the two arch rivals Calypso Castle and Bolio Calypso Rama tents clashed in the 70s? Example, the mighty Manikou, mighty Gospel with Highway in Granatang, singing MC, the late Timbo, Lady Angie, and Gun Smoke, etc. That was around 1976. I think that person have the dates like a mix up there. But definitely, yeah, there was some Calypso. Someone says, can you remember the mighty Hurricane? Is he still alive?
Yes, he is.
He's still alive.
Yes, he is.
All right. Someone said, don't leave out Koro and Abby for the humor. I want to hear Aunt Annie. I'm not sure what that one is. Then somebody said St. Paul's. They had a wheat tent. Wheat tent was covered and barred around with coconut branches and mud flooring. I heard about wheat tent already. Someone says, good night. Simon was a bomb back, then real traffic jam on Sunday evening, and semi-final used to start 5 p.m. sharp. Can you tell me the name of the Calypsonian who sang a little more education? A little more. Alright, nice, Becky. And someone said, I remembered going to a tiger show in Simon. Even Eric Donaldson was in Simon. That was my first time seeing him. So, yeah, they used to have quite a bit of these shows in Simon as well. I recall hearing about them. So there were quite a bit of them in Simon. Guys, let's take our final break, and then when we come back, we'll open the telephone lines and take some more comments and calls. So we're back in a moment, folks. Stay with us.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire.
Hubbard's is adapting to the times to enhance your shopping convenience with its new online store. You can now shop for appliances, hardware, houseware, builder's material, and still enjoy free delivery island-wide. Start shopping now at www.hubbardshardware.gd. Safe, convenient, reliable. Hubbard's. Quality service, affordable prices.
Have you heard about the new Softweave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Softweave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Softweave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now! We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carrico. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo.
Welcome back, everyone. We Culture. Those of you joining us for the first time, we welcome you. And of course, we're talking a bit of Kaiso tonight. Going back to the days of the tent, and of course, the days of Simon and the old Queen's Park Pavilion. All right. Before we go to the telephone line, Scholar, I was asking you earlier about that transition from Simon to the Queen's Park and how it played out. I want you to speak a little bit about the Calypsonians per se, who were going down to perform and preparation and all of that. Because, coming from Simon with all that energy, and then you're going to Queen's Park, with even more energy, because you have more people coming out, and we've heard stories of Queen's Park shaking, when, especially during the second round. It used to be something really, really, really great. Your experience coming from Simon and going down to Queen's Park?
Well. You put your you basically said it all. Queen's Park was an experience of itself. If Simon was an experience, then Queen's Park was an experience. And I don't think that we could ever get back the Queen's Park experience ever again. The truth is that, and you spoke about Queen's Park shaking, I felt Queen's Park shake. The year when Specky sang, that was the first year. the Soca Hurricane. Then the second year when he sang about the going up in space with the space rocket.
Yes.
Queen's Park actually shook, right? But by Queen's Park again had this intimacy. And if you go back and you look at some old Queen's Park videos, I mean, you just sit down there and you're just smiling to yourself, you know. I mean, even the backdrop at the Queen's Park, how they used to nice it up and flavor it. I mean, you have this thing there, so how can I put the thing?
And actually, that thing, the paint and thing, you know, the kind of fancy thing you have now, you know, it's paint and thing, man used to paint up thing, you paint your piece of plywood or whatever, and they stick, they board it up, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, man. And to me, it was not this prefab, this kind of stage, and then they used to just put up there. But man used to actually build that stage.
Yes, exactly.
Right, hammer and nail and thing. And by Queen's Park, you had an elite section. When you look at it, some people in chairs and so on, sit down there, and then at some point in time, our chair forget based on who come in. Our chair forget, and then the chair is just to relax for when the MC. Usually it used to be Troy Garvey, Senator, and them fellas, and then when they kick up again. But those were I mean, the experience then. And mind you, it was not always the police band playing in the finals. As we have it now. So much has changed. And I think it was Jose who spoke of the one piece of brass that Black Roots had. When Specky won with my neighbor at that time, it was Black Roots. One piece of brass. That was blowing. You know.
What was the guy's name? What was Copa? Yeah.
Yeah, Copa. He died,
Copa died, okay.
Yeah, he died. He died a couple of years ago. So I mean, the Queen's Park experience, and then how the thing was structured. As you said, there was a slow run, and then the second run is pace. And that pace now taking you straight into Juve.
Definitely.
Right? And so everybody kicking up, we didn't have no slow song really in second round. And everybody knew that they came out to have a party. I mean Calypso finals. The closest you can get now to what we had in Queen's Park is in Dominica. I went to Dominica and I was surprised because remember Godfrey, one of the highlights of this thing in the finals, because we had a long 10th season, because of Simon, because the radio stations, the few little ones that they had, used to bombard us with Kaisu.
But scholars stick a pin, and there's something there that I think people need to know, because you know it's not just the radio stations playing Calypso. But these calypsos were recorded in the radio station on what you call cats, on the cartridges. So they would come here and they would come to the station, and you know, I remember Harold Paisady saying once, there was a time when Lou was there and they are recording, and Lou tell you, watch, mistake or no mistake, we go in. So you had to get it right.
You had to put it. Because it's not like in now, when you make a mistake, they chop it right there and you sing over
right.
They had to go right. When the wall get good, you know, they had to go right over and so on. And that was one of the hallmarks of the old Queen's Park and Kaiso. People sang every word, every comma, every full stop, every question of every song.
Yeah.
And that was one of the important things about the Kaiso and the old Queen's Park.
So, but there was something else, Scholar. And I don't know if you can recall it. I mean, you ended Queen's Park in '93, but in the early '80s, I remembered the whole issue of the performance, and the one of the big things now is presentation. the dramatization prior. I remember when Reece come down in 2009 and she make all kind of thing and get done, right? And they win the soca and they go and they win the soca and they go with it. But no man, 2009. Anyway, but I remembered in 84. It could have been around, but maybe that was the when it sort of kind of took root when Flying Turkey did the Byron song.
Yeah.
And they had the madman coming to the crowd, and I think people did not know. They actually thought it was a madman, but it was part of his presentation. And I think that really helped him because, you took the place by storm and the whole place he had done a remake of it in Legends, was it 2018, Scholar?
And he actually had the same man.
Right, there we go.
From back there. I remember back in the day too, that was 1983 or one of the, when Mantis sang Condemn South Africa. We build a plane with board and bamboo, big size of plane, put it on a big public works truck and bring it go down in a thing. I stow away in the plane and go down in the magic.
Confession is good for the story.
I remember in those days to go inside the old Queen's Park. Fellas like this, so
you can't make that.
Morning, you run away. You have to dig. We dig in below the galvan.
And to go in. You know that was another thing, eh? That was a big thing,
Yeah, I mean
that was a big thing, and you used to have men on the inside collecting dollar, when you have a area where men passing and men collecting dollars, you can't pass and go inside.
The man I come out from quite up so little boy me and no money to pay to go in no show. So we dig a nice little hole below the galvan.
Why y'all couldn't do like others and climb tree and go on pack wall and sit down and this kind of thing? Why you couldn't do that? But in Guam they used to do similar, the bottom gate. They used to go and pass on that. They used to cross bushery. They making all kind of wrongs and come down. They used to do this kind of thing in them. Going free. But Guam people have a reputation for not wanting to pay for things in Guam in the first place. So $5 you're charging and they complain.
In Guam or all about?
All about.
Anyway, listen. The telephone has been going. There's one particular individual has been calling from the start. Let's go to the telephone and take a couple calls. We Culture, good evening.
Calling from the start. Let's go to the telephone and take a couple calls. We Culture, good evening. Calling from the start. Let's go to the telephone and take a couple calls.
All right, so folks, listen. When you're calling, please turn the volume of your device down and listen to us on your telephone. You can't have your radio or your TV blasting and expect to be able to hear us. It's going to confuse you. So when you call, turn the volume of your device down, whether you're on radio or TV or whatever you're listening, turn it down and listen to us on your telephone. All right? That way we can have a nice conversation and you can make your contribution. Let's go back to the telephone and try again. We Culture, good evening.
Good night, Mr. Augustine.
Good evening, caller.
And your esteemed panel. I'm sure one of the members will clearly recall the 24th of July 1993, making his first way to the semi-finals after placing second in Independence Calypso Mona competition. Oh, what a day that was, huh? But we going back to Calypso, man. Every parish had a card Calypso 10th or 10th. You understand? And the thing is that they opened very late in June, that from 1980. They start opening late in June, and going up to August, the third Monday and Tuesday in August. That was the first time that Carnival originally done was the third Monday and Tuesday in August. That's when we had that. Also, too, along the way, we found that all the semi-finals, everything took place on St. George's, and when the Queen's Park, some people say the Queen's Park was the place where all shows took place. Until around, I think it was 1984 84, 85, that the then chairperson, I think 86, decided to bring the Calypso's semi-finals to Simon. Because what we are understanding, just as the reason they advanced for this year's final in Progress Park, we found that most of the Calypsonians here was coming from the north or the northeast or the east, like the Mr. X, the gentleman who on the show, the scholar, the praying mantis, the African teller, the bubbler, you understand, the tangler, you understand, all these guys was coming from the north, and even from Guelph. I didn't hear the lady say about awful. Big money minister, big money man. I mean, he was a boss character. Now I see me a shadow of himself by the pool in Goa. But all these people, all these parish had Calypso tents, and judging was a task. I could tell you one night judging Calypso in Grenville on the Flambeau, judging the Victory Calypso tent with guys like Black Reformer, who's the next guy again, and same goes for. You understand? But we had to do it anyway, and we had to do it under Masanta because that time light went, so we cannot leave the 10 guys up there. We had to do it, and then that time we used to go up and do one judgment with one of the funeral homes hosts, and one of the situation happened at night. We come over the granite and he was telling us one night they went for dead, and this is where the van broke down, and there's the host broke down in the middle of the dark granite forest. You know what situation it is. But I'm saying that just to show the experience. I mean the evolution and Calypso went to. So moving from town, we went up to St. Andrew Simon, and that was the best thing that could ever happen to Calypso. But what happened there, what we found then, the airport had just moved on to Point Saline, and then the fact is you had the advent of the Rainbow City Festival. Also too, what we found happened on that Sunday too, we had Rainbow City, we had Calypso, we also had car racing in Simon, so it was real traffic up there. Hence the reason why it moved to that last Sunday in July, and not he went back to the fourth Sunday in July, rather than the last Sunday in July, to avoid all these calamities. Also too, we had, when we went to Simon, we had problems because when you hear 6 o'clock and the entire grid turn on, was problem with the band playing, you hear the thing, lights going dim. That's the reason. And then we had the advent of the three-phase current in Simon. We also had the extension of Simon at the Simon Pavilion to include bathroom facilities to facilitate Calypsonians like Lady Cinti backstage anyway. So these are the things I just want to highlight anyway too. I recall somebody was saying the first time they have finals in St. Andrew. I said for them and said no. In 1998 we had the Calypso finals in Simon, and that was the and in those days, the Calypso finals or the Dimash Girl was this show. I mean, it was nothing as Soca Monarch, and this Soca might came along way back in 1994. But we had Dimash Girl was the show. And as caller will tell you, those people will pay $100 to come and sit in that rain, in that cold grass there, just to ensure that they get a front seat to sleep. I will cut my contribution now anyway, and I may come back later. Thank you for facilitating me.
All right, thank you very much indeed, caller. Thanks a lot for your contribution, guys.
That's my recollection.
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah, go ahead, Doc. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my recollection in Simon, the first time I see a show in Grenada where one, apart from starting time, the person that I have the greatest recollection of was this last caller. And he said it's now 5 o'clock, and he would come to the stage and say, "Let us stand for the national anthem." Mm-hmm. And he gave you a semblance of a level of professionalism into the art form. And I always associated this last caller with that level of lifting the art form. And if it was a decision that he took, if he was the chairperson, or if that was just the committee decision. But you know that when you went to Simon, in particular, I don't know if that was the same thing in Queen's Park Scholar, but when you went to Simon, that 5 o'clock, the show would start. And if you go by 5:15, people would start whistling. But by 5 o'clock, this gentleman would come there and say, Showtime, Stanford National Anthem. And that, to me, that was a very powerful image then in my growing up.
Indeed.
So was it the same thing in Queen's Park?
No, man. Queen's Park was an hour.
Yeah, but I remember, and then Queen's Park, you also had the king and queen of the bands that had to go first and all this kind of thing, and then used to happen. So yeah, Queen's Park was. I mean, the March Grand Queen's Park is finished 4 o'clock in the morning because from there you go and shoot on the Grand Ash.
And you always look at the past videos to see how people they cram like sad in there.
Yeah.
Face stick up against each other, literally.
Yeah, that
was a show, you know.
That's what it used to be. Let's take another call. We Culture, good evening. Hello. All right. Reece, we could take some Facebook comments. I think I see some comments building up again.
Yes, we have some. So David Seal said the original inspector used to sing with the band Trade Winds in Grand Nance. Orion is saying, okay, the first Calypso tent, the Juilliard, I think I read that before, Papitet first Calypso tent. Let's move on. A few Guelph people came out, just saying good night, Guelph tongue, Hudson George is saying, Reece, you don't know how to boast. Tell them about the mighty Slim. He's a good Calypsonian, but don't try to claim Cock Jenga. He was from Hermitage St. Patrick's, but lived most of his life in Guelph. We always had that connection. They always came to the better place. Damian Frederick is saying, don't forget Sugar Boy from Guelph. Yes, and there was also Snaky Boy and his son and Pecco, 2 children, Itris and Ilia, in the junior tent. Then we have Dodo Charles is saying, do you all remember Scaramouche, the singing taxi driver? How about Lady Cinti, first woman to win Calypso Monarch? And while we are at it, we could talk about Akima and Miss Pam and what's her name? Gertrude? Help me. The one that won Crown.
Pamela? Pamela?
Officer. No.
No.
What's her name?
Godfrey.
What a beat scholar. What's her name again?
Are they going to make the man come out of the program?
Because he has one of those, what we consider to be like old names. That's why. Yeah. We have, no, let me don't pull him out. But I'm cool.
I don't want the man vexed. I don't want the man get vexed. And the next thing, just on the program mash up here. I don't want to tell him what?
That cat to run team?
What? You know what I tell you? You know what I tell you? Don't say that.
Rachel Henry said, I remember the Sunday of semifinals, the radio would feature all the semifinalist songs. And that's true. Anthony Jericho Greenidge used to do that a lot. If it's one thing he represented for that fraternity. Ali Pascal is saying on the road to the monarchy was Troy Gavi. I remember that as well.
Yes.
Teddy Christopher is saying Byron was a nice song. Harriet is saying yes, the plane with the bamboo and all that you stowed away in, the plane was built right next to her. Teddy Christopher is saying stand on a grave on Cemetery Hill. So here he's talking about all the different places you go to peep a show because you can't pay to go inside. Dodo is saying Bon J Scholar cry. Why Mr. Nelson so quiet tonight? If I tell all you what going on with Mr. Nelson there, or you go cry. George is saying, Reece, how come you're boasting about golf, but you don't mention Sugar Patch? Because of what you mentioned. Harriet Jeremiah is saying, great information from this gentleman. That's a past caller. Teddy Christopher is saying, how no one ever remember Kelly with song like All in the Mountain.
Kelly.
Jocelyn is saying, Defender and Lady Beginner. Lady Cheryl, okay. Jocelyn Paula Latouche, Lady Success. And she's also contributing Flying Turkey. Right. That's what I'm seeing here. Scorpion also.
Yeah, I mean, no, there's so much great Calypsonians that have passed through. There's been a lot. There's been a lot. Yeah, Doc.
But we did not call his Scaramouche.
Somebody mentioned Scaramouche. Yeah, somebody mentioned Scaramouche.
Stalmaya.
Yes. Yeah,
there
don't play with the flying crane, you know. Don't play with the flying crane. I see already are going semi-finals, Soca Monarch. And flying crane are more crowd than even Scholar, you know.
What crane is this thing?
I don't know when Godfrey will come out to represent, we put it in we hand in the pocket for everybody else. But when you hear we piece of police and them come out like the man Ricky and all that, more crowd than anybody else, you know. Shatter?
No, well, Crane was a boss, you know. As a matter of
reputation, you know.
Before Crane died, Crane was in the finals, you know, in Soca Monarch.
Yes, I remember that.
And all the old talk, watch me. People used to watch us as if like we mad, you know, because to them, what going on the stage there, it don't making sense to them, you know. But the people and them behaving bad, as if it's like terror touchdown, you know.
Let's go back to the telephone. Let's go back.
We see some name Itrice and Itra. Who?
Idea. That was Pecos children.
There was Pecos children?
Junior.
Yeah.
Well, they're no longer children. They're big people. But yeah, they were in the junior.
Okay, let's go back to the telephone. We Culture, good evening. Hello? Oh. We lost that caller there. All right, so 435-2041. Lord of mercy. Somebody want to know how Sylvester silence you.
I tell you.
Let me tell you, Sylvester, that's the only comment there, but I can't read the rest of the comment that is. And a couple of people mentioned, Natty Nuclear Dread, yes, as a Calypsonian. Yes. Michael Williams, Lord Slim, your 1975 Calypso King. He's from Crown City, St. Patrick. Remember Kawunda from Montmorris? I heard that name before.
Yes.
But I am not sure I know the Calypsonian. But that name, it's familiar. Scholars, another very important thing that I think has kind of not done well for Calypso. In the days gone by, every tent had its own backing band.
Yes.
Yeah. And what that did was that it unevened the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it did. So that was one of the good things that happened in Calypso when you had a standard band playing for everybody. So the playing field was even, but when you have some band, chung pung, you have some other band.
Some bands are like string band.
Yeah. There was a year song in that was 1995, 94. I sang in semi-final. Why? Dark, and then you see I had no good, you know. I had two experiences with band. 1994, I sang in semi-final, and I think I sang a song called Say a Prayer. That was the only time I ever sing that song. After that, I'm afraid that song has catch. Because the song supposed to sing a nice little slow by Yara Joma, that time we don't know Jom Mashi. But the man kick out in a soca. It was a fight that night. A fight. After that, I freed that song. Totally. And then there was a night I could never forget that. Even when you had the Black Roots band, I don't know what happened to them guys. That was a preliminary show in St. Martin. Now St. Martin was a big venue for Calypso. That was always where the tents used to judge. Black Roots, St. Patrick's tent. St. Martin was kind of like a mini Simon. So when St. Martin say you're good. You
will go Simon.
Yeah, before you go Simon. And we had a band, I don't know where Mantis and them pick up that man. Then man, we rehearsed the day of the preliminary show. By after the men rehearsed, the men drink one pile of rum. One pile of rum. So by the time the men come to the night in front of the judges, that man don't know what they played. This alone, they may make it. And funny enough, that was the first year that I won the Calypso Crown. That was 1996. So I honestly, if the judges were judging as how unsympathetic, I wouldn't have made Simon. Honestly, I could not, there was no way I could make Simon, because them men play one pile of papi show. So that by the time I start singing and so on, a judge had to stand up and tell the band, shut up, close up. And I sang the two songs a cappella with no band.
Wow.
I knew that they were hearing something good, but the band was just messing it up.
The band indeed.
That was too experienced with band that you know. So by at the end of the day, what with the harmonization of bands, I think that was an important thing. But a lot of the fellas, especially the Black Roots guys, would tell you that they didn't like it, because Black Roots had a special song. And Godfrey, if you play somebody old,
definitely that goes without saying.
Yeah, that one piece of bugle.
Yes.
Right now there. It was a special song. It's a piece of bugle. That one bugle.
You say something that I probably have a different viewpoint. I think the role of the judges is to identify good calypsos, good calypsonians, good material, and to send them further, not to punish just because you see a mistake. And I think at the preliminary, and even probably to a certain extent at the semi-finals, if they recognize a quality product, and they also recognize that somebody else that, you know, the artist has no control over is not playing their part, I think it is the role of them to give you a second chance. So I think I would commend the judges for having that kind of vision and foresight, that the role is to identify product, to harness that and to send it forward. So I think that was a good call on the judges.
No, definitely.
The other point I wanted to bring out, and I remember something happened in Simone. I don't know if anybody recall. Now, African teller always used to sing without shoes. And he went in Simone, and I think rain fell on the stage. And he had the mic and in his hand, and then he got shocked.
Yes.
He threw down the mic and
I remember that. Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah.
All right. The other piece of information I wanted, but I just get a call there, and the person, the madman that role in Byron, was our own MC, Senator. Senator was the madman. Senator was the madman.
Senator
was the madman in Byron. So I just thought I would say that.
Yeah, he was indeed. Let's go back to the telephone.
Senator was very much into acting and dub poetry, and that is something he used to bring to the stage when Tents, when he was emceeing Tents. He used to bring his own bit of performance, and I think that is why this guy is such a legend when it comes to emceeing to this day. He brought a show within the show. Yeah. You know who else used to be with him? Surprisingly.
He was an actor.
Yes, he was an actor. Did you all know that Jagan used to be with him too?
Who's Jagan?
Oh, see y'all, watch me.
Antoine, Patrick Antoine.
Patrick Antoine.
Yeah, well,
they used to do it together and stuff. Yeah, look at you in the business.
That's one final thing. I mean, just going and I just looking at the MC that was done in Bads, and you know, we want to decry, and I wish you would eliminate that, because the judges are taking a while now to kind of have the next act come on, the next artist. And I think, as Reece was pointing out, Senator did such a wonderful filling in and keeping the crowd, you know, glued on, entertained.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, you know, because that's a lot of acts. Scholar like 12, 15 Calypsonians, you have to have 15 different acts, 15 different times. How do you maintain that intensity and that energy? It is not an easy task.
No, it takes some levels of creativity and skill. No, definitely.
But let me take you back. 1994. You remember what happened in the match, Godfrey, in terms of the results in 1994? Let me see if you
in 1994, there's something wrong with the carnival?
No, man. Yeah, that was when I sang that. But remember the results in 1994? Speaking about Senator here, so that was a drop in that.
I can vaguely remember something happened, but I don't remember it.
Right. So 1994, that was when Specky sang about the spacecraft, and Wizard sang about with the Massa thing.
Yeah.
And Soca
instruction. Yes.
Right. And that was the year. You know, George MC and thing does always have people in suspense when they come to the last two. They making a cash and the monarchies.
Yeah.
And you know, there ain't no monarch for
long. Yeah.
They're tantalizing people until you want to just hold them in the shot and give them a shit. That year was the year Senator said, we don't waste no time because if someone act is Black Wizard, you remember that? Wizard sang about it this year.
Actually, that I wasn't at that Dimashga. I remember that well. I wasn't there. There.
So don't delay.
And Senator and them will tell you. Senator and them have always defended. Was he and Troy was the MC that year? And Senator and Troy will always defend and say that this was just how they chose because you know the night was long and they did nothing. But nobody was convinced that
it was going to happen. So they actually didn't believe Wizard.
That it was that. They believed in their heart that Senator and Troy they didn't have because of the result because they didn't want spec.
Okay.
Because they don't tantalize nobody.
So they just call it because they vex.
They don't tantalize nobody.
But okay, but let me tell you, I don't remember, I cannot say what year it was, but I remember there was a year when there was some uneasiness between Troy and Black Wizard. Even to the point where, and like I said, I don't know if it's this year, even to the point where at one time the Calypso had asked the gentleman not to play songs on the radio.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was that time. I can't say. There
was. But I think an important thing that we actually leave out, and I think maybe Carlos might have said, there had always been rivalry in Calypso, and that in itself
of course
would have helped to, and a lot of the rivalry centered around a jam.
Yep. In fact, he has been in rivalry with almost every other winner, every other Calypso monarch. Yes, yeah.
That's right. So it had been he and Smokey, then for long he and Wizard. Well, up to the point where I believe Wizard became afraid of Jamu. I believe Wizard is scared of Jamu. So people also vexed because Wizard is a big tall man, a little man. What the hell you think? But by the time Jamu spit out two lyrics,
Wizard bossing.
Semantics.
Wizard going back in his shell. Then there was a year you had a bitter rivalry with Jamu and
Squeezy, yeah.
And then Squeezy go on top, come down and Squeezy sing out that key.
Keep on the whole light.
I remember that.
and Squeezy will swear to you that he didn't sing out that key. Band play out that key, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you go and listen in live now, you hear the band play.
A band can play out that key. But he will swear to you. And then you had other, me and Jamu.
The only one man didn't afraid Jamu.
Yeah, I never afraid Jamu. I'll be honest with you. I was never scared of
Well, I will tell you something. I don't believe he afraid Jamu. But what I could tell you, when Jamu in competition, he ain't taking nothing for granted.
No. And that's the whole thing. I never afraid him, but I respect him. Respect him so much so that I mean, when Jamu are taking night and mix
you know, he didn't take a chance at that, you know. And I think to the rivalry with Jamo had a lot to do, aside from the man. But Ajamo is good. Ajamo, I mean, when it comes to performing, Ajamo is a master. So it's not a man. Ajamo could take a simple thing and go on stage in the night and just mash up the place.
Like Rukum.
Yeah. Provocation is against Zilla. I get that whole voice in now. I get that.
I really got 2 calls before it's too late.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go back to the telephone and see if we can get one there. Oui Culture, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, good evening, Oui Culture. Hello. Hello.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, as somebody who was involved with the Calypso from the mid-80s, I think when we talk about the semi-final, the decline of the semi-final began, I would think, in 1995, when the then Minister of Environment, Mahaiza, scheduled with the government national cleanup campaign. And although people like me and Judy Benmore then, Judy was in the ministry then, we tried to persuade the man that is not the best time to have a cleanup campaign. It affected that year. In addition to that, the road shows. There began to be a proliferation of road shows, and people began to hardly go to the Calypso tent. And then the involvement of money activities seriously affected the event. I concur with most of what has been spoken tonight in terms of the energy and so on that used to be. In fact, there's an experience I have in Calypso, with being part of Calypso, it was 1987, when the Calypsonian exercised the power. I happened to be the one who was interfacing with the authority at the time, the late Dr. San Friday. And the decision was, if there wasn't some kind of agreement, some kind of promise in terms of what would be the result written, there would be no semi-finals. And I remember the various people were waiting on us. Eventually, we forced Dr. Friday to at least give us something in paper. And then I remember during the carnival, the children's carnival was going on, and we went and gave it to Troy Garvey, and he said, we have a relief now. There will be semi-finals. And that showed the power at that time of the Calypsonians and them. Unfortunately, furthermore, we have seen how politics came in and affected the association, caused it to split. In addition to the fact that early on, the carnival itself was affected, and the Manikou, the man they called Manikou, who was the chairman, and I served under him in 1986 as chairman of the Carnival Committee. He, to me, was one of the best organizers of Carnival. In fact, that was the first year we had a semi-final for children, junior semi-final, which was his idea. He said, let's try something, and there were over 2,500 people coming to that show on the Sunday. That's the first, I think that year Randy Adak sang Free South Africa. And I mean, over 2,000 people, took part in, I think, that afternoon, 2,500. So I would say that we should encourage, continue the kind of conversation, and because we miss a lot. And anybody remember the night when there was people felt water, that during the time the stadium was being built, and there was a controversy between, I think, whether Jamo or Sheldon Douglas was the rightful winner of the Soca Monarch. That was the last time I went to a Soca Monarch, because when I see people how they get on, I say, no, I'm not going back there. That when the stadium was being built and some of the activities were being held in Simone. But we need to find a way to bring back Simone so that people, the dynamics could be maintained. And it's unfortunate that people who have let money influence that. And another thing, the Monday night match, all these things have really cheapened the whole thing. And Scholar, you mentioned Samaritan. Samaritan, that's the time when black youths used to be judged. That's where they judged most of to me, my recollection. And that used to be a show. Really show.
Okay.
Finally, I want us to remember scientists in that respect. Scientists who, although Mantis was the leader of the 10, but scientist was a real person and keeping things going and making things going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much indeed. All right. Well, that was our last call because we practically out of time. Guys, there's so much more that we need to talk about. The actual competition and so much more that, we really have the time. But, of course, the good news is it seems as if we may not be affected by the CPL because so far we're not seeing any games for Monday and Friday. So it looks like, we'll be able to do what we have to do. So we wrap up now because it's almost 10. So let's start with our closing remarks. Scholar, we go to for last since you're the Caisonian. So we start with Doc.
Well, I just want to say this year we experienced I don't know if it is a revival, but I think the Calypso lovers were pleased with the level of Calypso we received this year. We wish for the 10 structure. I really don't know the answer if that is possible, that we could get back the 10, the various 10s, but I also believe that we can reach more people, more persons, if we continue with that trend. We had a tent. There is a tent like we tried so bad, and I just want to pay tribute because although we have the present sitting manager and inheritor of that band, but I think the foundation was set in such a way with people like Dick Glenwell, with people like Mr. X and Wizard, and also Mr. Eric Donald as a kind of foundation person. Having that vision and setting that tent. But prior to them, there were a lot of other persons like the Mass International that play a major role. And I wish people would come forward again and to ensure that our Calypso, our music is encapsulated in having more bands, more persons playing music, more persons having interest in extending the art form, because I believe that's the only way we can go if we have more bands, more organizers, like the various things that still exist. I think we only have 3 and a San Corrective. And if we can have more musicians and more tents, I believe we could attract more persons and Calypso could have a brighter future. So I think that is my final comment.
Right. Reece?
Should we take some Facebook comments?
Yes, please. Not? Yeah. Let's take the last of the comments and then we'll... Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have Jocelyn is saying the cemetery was VIP. She's also saying Stingray from St. Paul's. Keishon George is saying Ali J. Jocelyn wants me to say hi to the Rastaman on the panel. The picky hair Rastaman. Tony Parker is saying, who remember the Mighty Cow? Hudson George is saying Lord Slim or Mighty Slim was not from St. Patrick. He was from Guelph. His last big hit song was Send Back the Shop. Ali Pascal says that he remember Black Roots. He's also saying Bobla and Ikuma were also in Black Roots. Teddy Christopher is saying Scientist from Rose Hill. Jocelyn is saying, I could remember, I think it was Darius who went into a coffin on stage during his presentation. Michael John was saying, we can't forget the Mighty Go Home and Skeffy Boy. Dubi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right.
That's Dash Dads, right? Escola? Yeah.
But that was Stefano in the country. Stefano.
No, I'm not sure. Go ahead, Reece.
Okay, Harriet is saying Santi's had some really good songs over the years. Jose, great program tonight, even though I was distracted with Grandbaby, but I still enjoyed the program. Jose, a Grandbaby here. Ali Pascal is saying there was a rivalry with you at Scholar and at Jamu also. I guess that's for Leader Free, that comment. Jose is saying, Scholar, were you in thing with, he's asking, were you in thing with Jamu also? Yes, he was. Rachel is saying, yes, Scholar, talk truth. Jose is saying, when Jamu in competition, according to Beast, he used to rub Scholar head before he go on stage. Vilma is saying, I felt that in 1994, Specky won, but because he won 1993, they gave it to Wizard. But did you all hear Scholar say Wizard? Y'all didn't hear Scholar say Wizard? Anyways, I got into a big argument with someone in Grenville on Tuesday Carnival. My husband has since changed his mind to give the win to Wizard. Jose is saying, although Jamu was good, but I still think some of the time the judge gave him the monarch. I remember Jamu forgot his line and still give him crown on Scholar. It was the last time he sang in the big stage, even our serpent forget his line also, and they give him Independence crown. Velma is saying too many items to deal with. Kenny is saying, do you guys know of a Calypsonian named Peas? He does sing. Harriet is saying, great discussion tonight, guys. Monet is saying, thanks for a happy Friday, full of laughter. Have you all yourselves an awesome weekend. Enjoy, you all deserve it. Bye until we meet again. Ali is saying, a Calypsonian named Reggie Charles. I wonder what happened to him. Cynthia is saying, thanks to all who contributed. Let's see, Grenada Spice is saying, nobody beating Scholar for political commentary. My favorite. And Dodo is saying, thanks, We Culture. My closing comments, I just want to continue on the trend that Sylvester, a.k.a. Livingston, was on. Yeah, Jose said Guav had a very good tent with Scorpion and others. Anyway, I think the tent structure, I think after the formidable example we had, especially with Kaiso Bats, and I'm saying that because to me they were ahead of the game with having the tent sort of toe to different parts. I thought that was a really good thing, and they really took off with the marketing of it and inviting people to come and sit with them when the judging is happening and all of that. I think that we had a very good example in Kaisubat, and I know for a fact when it comes to Guav, the issue for them right now is that they don't have a backing band. Before, there was like harmonies with brass, there was elite vibrations, and that is one of the major challenges. So I believe Scholar would know exactly what I'm talking about. How the not having a functioning backing band to be able to host a tent and have people practice over time and be able to do shows and all that is a real challenge for a lot of people who have interest in bringing back the tent structure into this whole carnival scenario here. So there's a lot of people that are studying music today. There's a lot of musicians. There are a lot of self-taught people are able to read music now. We see in the police fraternity, you have the Royal Police Band, and you still have the other band. What's the name again, Scholar? With all these and them, you still have all these branch offs. So to me, we have musicians. Maybe what the authorities need to do is provide support for people to be able to purchase instruments and be able to tune instruments and all that, so that they can really help grow the tent structure, play a supporting role in that aspect. So it's not only about assisting artists with being able to go into studio to produce songs, but being able to bring back that deeply rooted cultural aspect of the tent structure and the junior competitions, the senior competitions within the parishes, and on the road too. National Stadium, that whole journey, be able to invest in that, and I think we would have really done service to Calypso.
Yeah.
In terms of trying to get it back to where it was.
Finlay.
Yes, can I mute?
Yes. Let me just throw a name in the pot that we have not spoken about tonight. This is a gentleman by the name of Eggies.
Oh, yes. Edwin Thompson,
Edwin Thompson, during the days of and so on, and he's still there. Let me also say that I learned something, you see, and sometimes by you doing things and you learn things yet still. So though I have been in Calypso for a lot of years, I learned something tonight. I learned that there were Calypso tents all over Grenada, and true to form, Guava had to be different. So while everybody had a tent, Guava had a house. But you know you go with Guava. Can't surprise. So everybody had a tent and Guava had a Calypso house. Okay.
Soca house, that's right.
so okay. So Guava upgraded. But I want to end on probably two controversial pieces of news. One, piggyback on what Reece was saying. I think one of the main issues with Calypso and the fall of the Calypso tent has been the absence of musicians and backing bands who would do it for the love, as how Calypsonians do it for the love. You don't find that anymore. Back in the day, a tent was always associated with a band. And the band was part of the tent, the band played, and there was an understanding that when you make a money, everybody everybody eat from that. If you don't make, nobody gets. Nowadays, it's not like that. And it changed in 2001 when you had the boycotted carnival. And so to lower thing and to make it happen, the government then, they just share money and they give musicians a pile of money to go and play. And them men get a taste of money. And from then on, it was trouble, such that up to now, you'll find that a tent gets a little subvention or something, and all the subvention money goes to the band. Before they strike a note, they want that money. When they practice, you have to pay them every time they practice, and so on and so forth. So it is not something that really is sustainable. And Reece spoke of bands and musicians. We have a lot of musicians. The truth is that a high percentage of them are in the church and what have you. But we have a lot otherwise. What I think we don't have is enough men blowing bugle. And this is where, you know, the Ministry of Culture and so on. We started that thing once. We had some nice, exciting young people blowing, and then the program was discontinued. But there has to be a way to make this thing sustainable and to make people like me who run tent and who are tent leaders, to make us do less maths and so on in our head, because it's really a lot of sums that you do. And the bands and band leaders, they are unrelenting. They don't think not much of it, but and you can't blame them because they get the center money, and it is not, there's no love in this thing anymore. So this is one of the problems, and this is something that has to be fixed. Otherwise, we'll always be going down this road where you have one show, two shows, and so on. People would be surprised to know how much money that tent leaders have to pay these bands to put to. And at the end of the day, you have plenty Calypsonians who come out with absolutely nothing whatsoever. And all of the monies that you make go towards paying the bands. All right? So that's one. And secondly, in terms of this year's carnival, and the hue and cry about how the carnival was so unsuccessful and how the carnival was such a disaster this year, I I think what it shows is how they see Calypso. It shows it plainly now. Because I could tell you this. If it was that soca had been a big success and Calypso was the same marginal old stupidness that it used to be all the years, they would have said we had a bumper carnival. What we did not have was a good soca year. That's what it did not. Soca was unsuccessful, but Calypso was a resounding success. And I am putting it to you that if it was the other way around, and Calypso had failed and soca was a success, we would have a good carnival. You know, everybody boasted. So, as far as they're concerned, the success of carnival is gauged by the success of soca and how big soca is and how much people go to the thing. All right? And it shows because we had a big soca. Last week we discussed the Queen Show. We had this Queen Show was a resounding success. It was just the soca that didn't. And the truth is that the soca artists this year they dropped the ball. I mean, with all of the thing about the 100,000 and whatnot. But the soca artists this year they didn't produce songs.
Yeah, the material was poor.
But the material was poor, and this is a fact. Look, just take, for example, Terra the Governor, for example, who sang He Won and so on. But traditionally, Terra the Governor...
That's not his best song. No. That's not his winning material.
Not just that. Every year he does about 15 to 20 songs, you know. Lava Man, who doesn't compete, you doesn't know which song of Lava Man and to listen. This year, the guys did not produce songs. Worst ways, no song. Those guys didn't produce, right? And so you hear man say, oh, the carnival was a disaster. And the carnival was not as disastrous as people thinking. And I would be selfish because I am Kaisonian. The carnival was a resounding success because the Kaiso guys, they stuck to the end of the bargain, and Calypso was a resounding success. So too was Queen.
You know, guys, that has just sort of laid the foundation for next week's program, because I'm wondering now whether or not, because when you listen to the soca, sometimes you ask yourself, all right, what are we going to hear next year? Now, there's a difference with Calypso. Because of the structure and how calypsos are constructed and made, you know, and I'm wondering now, maybe not, but are we seeing the start of what happened in Trinidad some years ago when they had to move away from an actual soca and groovy competition and just have a song competition? So maybe there's something we could probably look at and have some discussions. And I mean, there's a lot to talk about. We have not even, we just touched the surface of the Kaiso, because we have not touched on the actual competition. Then the judging aspect of it is another program in itself, you know, and some people made reference to it tonight, but of course that in itself is another program. So I think throughout the week we would finalize and decide which direction we take it, and then we'll be back next Friday. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you to all our listeners, our viewers. It was indeed a pleasure. Thank you for your contribution, and don't forget there will be some changes to our programming because of the CPL starting this coming week, but of course once there aren't any games, we will continue with our regular programming. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. All the best, and have a good one. All the best. Yes, indeed.
Let we set it on fire.